most of the first hour, but he was very aggressive at speaking over her and forcing her to submit to his truth, which I thought was very powerful.
You have to watch the thing about speaking over her, depending on how you mean that, because he did, intermittently interrupt us with short interjections. That's wrong.
No, that's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. I thought it showed strength that he was not about to sit there and be Mr. Polite and take it. The truth had to prevail, and he made sure people knew that. Go ahead, Preston.
Well, I was going to say that there's a lot of things that are going to come down the road a ways. There's all these intelligence agencies all over the world that have movies of Hillary and Huma that are going to probably be released right before the election. I think Donald Trump has been told to expect anything like that because
it's time. It's time.
The hacks that were released, of course, were from within our own intelligence agency. It wasn't the Russians. The Russians, if the stuff they have, most likely they would use if she's going to win, because then they could control her. But if the most likely source of all that is within some deep black agency that's gone rogue, and in the White House, I talked to a guy in naval intelligence who knew the whole system in the White House. He told me every single room was wired up for sound.
Oh, sure.
Infrared, everything, bathrooms, the whole 9 yards, and not just one camera, but duplicitous. He said there were two systems. At that time, they were big hard drives. One was naval intelligence. It went directly to naval intelligence. Every single thing that happened in the White House and underneath in the underground.
The Navy is involved with everything. God.
Yeah, the other one went to the Secret Service. So they had everything on Monica Lewinsky. They know everything going. But that information is out there, and you can bet that because of Benghazi, Hillary's got some serious enemies, and there are people that are going to make sure that she is completely exposed for what she's done. They're not going to let it go.
All right. Well, this is the point I made earlier. She and her character and Bill are the issue. That's the primary pivotal issue of this campaign. The lack of crisis of character, whatever you want to call it. She is not fit. Now, they had her pumped up with everything modern medical science and technology can do tonight to give her energy, to get whatever. And I did see her eyes were not quite right. I could tell. I was looking with a magnifying glass. They weren't quite as blatant because she wasn't bug-eyed, but they were not moving in sync. Much of the time.
Let me run this by you guys.
Yeah.
This is from someone who follows my work well. He says, Jim, I think Hillary was being fed answers by some mechanism. Her answers and commentary were a little too good for a normal person just using their own mind and vocabulary.
I agree.
When I started looking at her with that in mind, I think the pacing of her answers was as if she was hearing something and repeating it as if it were her words. And we'd been suspicious of this since the commander-in-chief, when she had an ear radio and was indeed being told. But I thought then it was more obvious. If they were doing it this time, it's a more sophisticated technique.
Well, they can put a cochlear implant, a radio receiver. They've got microcircuits now the size of a pinhead. They could put stuff in there and they can, they can have her chipped up. They've been in her brain doing brain surgery before. They could have put, various specialized chips into the auditory cortex. I mean, this technology is 30 years old. We don't even know how far it's come.
Well, I just wanted to kick it in because we'd been suspicious that they were going to do that here. And if they were doing it, it was much more subtle than before. So somebody was feeding her information the whole time, and whether she had some earpiece inside her ear canal that was, an eighth of an inch thick or something, somehow someone was communicating with her. It was just too sing-songy.
I agree. Oh, and you know what gave it away? A couple times she stammered, and I think she was listening and processing information while trying to speak, and that's a kind of a giveaway. Yeah. Okay. Now, I think we're all sort of in agreement here that he did extremely well tonight on solid issues and answers. No question. What he might not have done as well at is putting her in her place for being arrogant and saying nothing. He kept saying, he did say sound bites. These are just sound bites. That's true. That's what they were.
But Jeff, I reiterate, if he'd gone after her too aggressively, it would have backfired. I guarantee.
Well, I agree.
He had to do this as the opening act.
All right. Well, that's why I said the next two debates. So I'm with you. I agree. It's just hard. It's still hard to watch, though, knowing as much as we know.
It is. But she's the most hated woman in America, except it is interesting to me that the people I know that love Hillary don't like the idea of personal responsibility or the idea of sinfulness, doing something wrong. The idea, they like the anything goes type stuff. Yeah. And it is kind of. I think they're drawn to her because there's. How can they possibly have any other behavior or character judged with someone like her? When you have the dirtiest person possible, President of the United States, everybody feels comfortable. Do whatever you want.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah.
There's something to that.
The same source who wrote me the earlier mail sent a follow-up. He says, forgot to mention, another indication of her being fed answers from off stage is the fact that all her responses were stated in long, multi-part ideas that hung together perfectly, too perfectly, with perfect sentence structure. Who does that in a real debate?
I agree, and that's a very good point. Whoever wrote to you, a good observation. It was too.
He's a very smart guy.
No, the texture of it was too smooth. Just there were no real bumps or aberrations that a normal human being would transmit. Trump, on the basis of that alone, gets an A. He was up against. This is a machine he's up against. A biochemical, pharmaceutical, electromagnetic, electrical machine. God knows what she was getting fed. Who knows?
There's another factor here, and that I think he's got really good advisors, just like his good security team. And I think they've told him, listen, she's not out of the woods yet. Get through this thing. Don't make any waves. Just stay the course. And her personal health situation is going to catch up with her. You got to remember, she's had a number of fugue states where she's gone off unexpectedly. I don't think this is the end of it. I think it's going to be a downhill course from here, and she may not even get to the second debate for all we know.
We will find out soon enough. But her answer, well, yes, I've taken time off. I was preparing for the debate. Is there something wrong with that? But more than that, I was preparing for the presidency. It just, that's not something that just flies off the top of your head. That's all rehearsed, all practiced, and that's just part of the game. Now, if you look at the homepage, all of you out there, at RENSE, look at the two top political art pieces I have. The top one shows Dr. Frankenstein with his laser pointer showing the severely ailing Hillary where to walk. You can look at the video. He uses a pointer to show her on the floor where to walk, and if there's a doorway ahead, he lights up the doorway with the laser. I've got the picture. Look at it. This is all true. The woman is told where to go and given guidance. Literally, figuratively, she's given guidance. The second political art piece shows her leg on the ground, dead weight on 9/11. Now, 9/11 this is the 26th, right? Long ago. We're talking about 15 days ago. And the woman was out cold, being dragged like a slab of beef into the van. Anyway, I just think you're right, Preston. This is not over.
There's one more thing, Jeff, and that is the banksters love puppets. They love political puppets that do everything they say. She is the ultimate puppet. They've created a complete mechanical puppet that will do everything they say. This is their final dream.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. If you folks out there listening would like to call in, you're welcome. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it tonight. 877-342-6673. We'll look for your calls at the top of the hour. You can start calling in now if you'd like. 877-342-6673. So, as I said in the very beginning, the next two debates, I feel, and I think he did what he needed to do tonight. I agree. I don't think he got hold of every opportunity that floated past him, but he did a damn good job against what Preston describes as basically a machine, the perfect woman to do, or the perfect candidate to do whatever she's told to do. Those sentences that she was spewing were too fluid. There was no aberration in them. They were all pat. They were just she's a pro, but I think you're right, Preston. She was being, in an auditory sense, fed. Had to be. We know she had an earpiece at the town hall. We know that. She may have had it tonight. No one's asking.
Let me read some headlines before the debate. These were off.
What's the latest on the Drudge? What's the latest on the Drudge percentages? Do you see that? I can't find it.
Well, I mean, just before I came on, they had 20,000 votes, and it was 90% for Trump and 10% for Hillary. Actually, I'm rounding up because it was slightly less.
That's
than
fine.
10%.
Yeah.
But I'll go back to that during the break. But look, here's some. Fox News poll, Trump tops Clinton in battlegrounds, Nevada, North Carolina, Ohio. In other words, Trump has been steadily coming up. Hillary's been dropping, and this will be reinforced now by the debate tonight. Second headline, Fox News poll, many voters want new leadership but still uneasy about Trump. After tonight, I think they're going to be very reassured. I think his percentage over Hillary is going to increase. Third, Fox News poll Clinton and Trump in 1-point race among likely voters. That's going to swing in his favor, I'm convinced. Fox News poll voters say U.S. less safe than before 9/11. Iran deal hurt security. Well, while I may disagree with the fact of the matter, that's politically what most people believe, and therefore I believe his position about Iran goes down well with the voters. Then the last story, voters think Clinton and Trump will do anything to win. Well, I think it's absolutely true of Hillary. I less believe it of Trump, but I'll tell you, my wife would say precisely the opposite.
That's funny. All right. What do you think about Lester Holt's performance?
I wish I could give him high marks, but I think he blew it in several different ways, that his bias for Hillary came out, that he'd been affected by their beating on him, to be a fact checker with Trump, which is not his role.
Right.
And his assertion about it, being a fact, he was wrong in two different cases at least. One about whether or not the Donald had been opposed to the war from the beginning, where I thought he did an excellent job of dispatching the casual remark on the Howard Stern show, which wasn't his serious thoughts about it.
Uh-huh.
And the other about, the fact of, God, what was the other one where he said it was a fact? Oh, about the birth certificate issue. Actually, I think that the Donald had a whole lot more he could have said about it, but it would have resurrected the whole issue. And, of course, even you and I have a difference about this, Jeff. Right. Given I haven't yet seen that film you want me to see. But based on my own research, I turned up with a Kenyan birth certificate of Obama where he's got his footprint on it.
Right. So, well, wait and see. We'll see. I don't know if it's the same foot. There's a footprint on it. Look, and that the Hawaii birth certificate was 7 different layers. In the Adobe mode. Come on.
Right. Yeah, but look, all that means nothing. We need DNA samples on Hillary.
Absolutely.
Is this Webb Hubbell's kid, or who's Clinton's real father? We need DNA on all these people.
Donald held back. I think this must have been what he held back. Bill Clinton and Chelsea were both in the audience, and he said, "There's something you've been very nasty to me, and there's something I could say to you. I'm not going to say it." But I'll bet it was the who sired Chelsea. I'll bet anything that was it.
Oh, he said that to her tonight?
What he said to her was,
he implied
to me, you run all these commercials that are full of falsehoods. And he said, and you spent $200 million on it, and they haven't affected.